Hello, welcome to the inVOYAGE Vodcast, where we're joined today by Global VP Commercial at CWT M&E, Ian Cummings. Ian, great to have you on the cast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Richard. Great to see you. I hope you're well. And yeah, nice to be here this Friday morning.
It's been a crazy time over the last, well, is it 10 months? Is it 11? I'm not sure. What's it been like for you?
Personally or professionally?
Go on, give us a bit of both.
And on the business side, like everybody, you know, it's been super tough. The last 9 months has been crazy. None of us expected it at all. When we met at the end of last year, when we met at the beginning of the year, we were so excited about 2020 and what that was going to bring for everybody, for the industry, for the growth that everybody was forecasting. And then boom, you know, this hit in March, and nobody could have predicted it, as we all know, and it's affected all of us in one way or another. It's affected the whole industry. It's affected everybody, and everybody's had, you know, varying and different reactions to it, really.
CWT as an organisation, it's huge. Going from organising, I don't know how many events in a year to
35,000 plus.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Seriously, 35,000 plus, and
events around the world, yeah.
And I'm not going to ask how many you've delivered this year.
No, don't.
I'm going to guess there might be a few more virtual than not. How do you handle that shift?
Yeah, I think at the beginning everybody was in denial a little bit. I think we all were, and I include myself in that. You know, kind of March, it was like, okay, this will blow over, and we might have a bit of a dip in volumes, and maybe we want to say we're going to miss our budget now, and maybe we'll have an impact of 20% decrease. I don't think anybody realized in March, April time how serious it was going to become and how much of an impact it was going to have. So it was kind of an evolution, really, of oh no, this is not great. You know, we're not going to hit our budget numbers, which is, you know, important for every business, to a point of, oh, this is a bit more serious. Actually, we're looking at a really serious drop here, to a point in the summer where we're going, oh wow, nobody could have predicted this at all, and really having to make decisions. So it was a very unsettling time for everybody in the teams, everybody across the organization.
Yeah.
The response, I've got to say, from the CWT teams was just incredible in terms of stepping up. So we discovered skills within the organization that we never knew that we had. Particularly around the creative and around the virtual. So, you know, like every agency, we very quickly switched over towards virtual and hybrid opportunities and looked at studios where we could work from and support our clients' communication programs, which is, you know, really the important bit, because clients still need to communicate. They need to communicate as much, if not more, during this pandemic. So how do we do that? And how do we make it fun? And, you know, we all went through okay, virtual and hybrid has been around a long time, but we all went through a very quick learning process of how to do it well. We had to change a lot, and the team stepped up, as I said. Incredible performance from around the world. We had people coming out in LATAM with great skills in virtual. We had people in Asia Pac coming up with great creative skills, people around Europe and people in North America coming saying, well, hey, I've done this in a previous role that I had. You know, I'm a meeting planner now, but I used to deliver virtual events before. Right. So all of a sudden we had this skill set come to the fore that we weren't really focused on. And that was a real plus to come out of the crisis that we found ourselves in. Part of my role as leadership is to tell people it's okay. Put what you know on the table. Let's understand it. Let's get it 80% right. And if we make a couple of mistakes along the way, that's okay, because we're learning as we go. But of course, you know, there's the massive disappointment to putting on live face-to-face events that you and I and we all love within the industry. And, you know, those have disappeared and evaporated. And it's just not as much fun putting on a virtual event. You don't have the human interaction.
It's down to that now, isn't it?
It is. Coffee on screen like this, and this helps.
Yeah, absolutely. But actually, one of the things you said there, huge silver lining, you've got skill sets that have come out of the woodwork that you would never have known before, and you've been able to utilize.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword in many ways. Great that we found the skill set that we needed, and people, humans are resilient, and they find a way. And I
Yeah,
think we were all trying to find a way at the moment, doing everything that we can. And to be honest, we're helping each other across the industry, not just within CWT. Everybody's
absolutely.
communicating, going on calls, virtual events, etc. And it's been a real coming together, which is another silver lining. It also means that we have a very big base of people, and when your business drops by the percentages that we all know it has dropped across the different agencies that we have, etc., then what do you do with this big cost that we have, and how long can we ride this out when our revenues have dropped by X amount and our cost is X amount? So it's a case of careful planning around that, and really understanding what we can do with existing customers, because some customers have kept going.
Yeah.
There are businesses that we all know that are thriving under the pandemic, and some of those are pharma businesses, and some of those gladly work with CWT. We have a very strong position within the pharma industry.
I think the most overused word during the first lockdown here in the UK was pivot, I think.
We've got these 4 new words which are just overused now, which is fantastic, which we never used much before. So pivot, you've just mentioned, the new normal.
Right, yeah.
How many times have we heard the new normal?
Well,
yeah, I think the most overused phrase at the moment that I've heard that just is widely overused is, "Can you hear me now?"
But you mentioned something there about how the team have been fantastic on your side. I wanted to ask particularly about that. Just give us some insight on that one.
So we're structured globally now. I mean, it was something that we're working through in 2019, and by what I mean by global is really forming a global organization. We've been operating without borders for some time now. In the past, for example, we would focus on an EMEA market, and we'd look for a solution in EMEA for creativity. What the pandemic has shown us is that we're just able to use resources from anywhere in the world. So, for example, our creative guy over in Asia Pac, Marvin, is fantastic. He's been jumping into so many projects across the globe, and he's loved that. And we've got somebody, as I mentioned before, in LATAM, who's also very creative, who's been jumping into projects across. So it's given greater connectivity across the globe. And they've been involved in projects that they maybe wouldn't have been involved in the past, because we've got people out on leave without pay, on furlough, etc., like many organizations, and therefore we've just had to come together as a global team.
So from a developmental aspect, that's surely a massive uptick for or plus for CWT. All of a sudden you've really got a global team on your hands, and people that are far more comfortable and actually probably far more enthused by the fact that they can impact things on a global scale.
And I think what this has done, to answer your question, is accelerated that proof point that globalization can work.
Here in the UK, you've been recognised as Global Agency of the Year for 2 years running, about 2018 and 2019. Is that right?
You're giving me goosebumps.
This is under your leadership. What happened to 2020, fella?
Thanks. So first of all, I wouldn't put it down to my leadership. That's very kind of you. But it was an incredible team effort, as everybody says. But it truly was. I mean, I joined the organization at the end of 2012 as the MD for the UK and Ireland, and found a very unhappy business. People were not very motivated. We hadn't found our place in the M&E world, particularly the E world, the events world. We weren't really recognized as an events agency. There was a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
When I think the agency report came out in the first year that we participated, I think in 13 the following year, I think we were about 13th on the ranking, and I was like, okay, well, that's not great. I think the next year we moved up to 10th, and so on. And we started building a business that was, engaged. People were committed. They started to see change and development, which they thought, okay, fine, we're moving, we're making progress. We did move into our own office in London, which was great, and a major stake in the ground as far as us as an agency was concerned. We started to invite clients in to see us and look at us, and we weren't hidden away in the back somewhere. And the clients were like, "Hey, wow, this is quite cool. You know, you guys have got some creativity going on." And we started to win business then as a result of all those changes that were going on. I think in 17 we were runners up, and or 16, 17 we were runners up. And then at 18, much to our surprise, we got Global Agency of the Year award. I mean, there weren't many of us at the awards dinner. I think there's about 6 of us there, and we all looked at each other with eyes wide open. And we were very proud. Very, very big moment for us. Very big moment for us. We never thought we'd get it the second year. We never thought we'd retain it. It's a highly competitive field. There is some brilliant agencies in the UK, and hats off to them all. I respect every single one of them. When we retained it in 2019, just off the scale, we were beyond happy with that, and I don't think any other agency has done that 2 years in a row.
No, I think that's absolutely awesome.
By the way, it's a great set of people. I've got to add. So as I said, it was a team. You know, you just can't do that without having good people in lots of different positions who are all committed to the cause and all pushing in the same direction. You know, we had at the time, you know, close to 100 people in the agency in the UK and Ireland. And they were all behind it. They were all like pushing hard on customer service, on developing our services across group travel, across SMM programs for our clients. You know, we have some fantastic name customers, and then getting more events from those businesses and going to them and saying, hey, you know, we can do this for you. And then them giving us a chance, and then us proving that we could deliver some really creative events. So yeah, it's been a great journey.
Something I happen to know about you that I know you won't mind me sharing. Don't be worried. I know that sustainability plays a big part in your consciousness. I wanted to get an idea of whether you can see a shift and a development on that side where CWT as an organisation is starting to be able to bring that through to more of the creative practices that you bring out to the clients.
I think there's been a seismic shift over the last 12 months towards 2 megatrends across the globe.
Okay.
And that is climate change, responsible business, of which sustainability is a part of. So sustainability, again, I think has been accelerated as a result of this pandemic. And what I mean by that is, if you think about how local people have gone as a result of the pandemic, it's like, okay, support local businesses. In the events world, we've been doing projects for some of our customers where we've kind of run a 2-day or 3-day festival type thing, and we've had all local suppliers. And I think that corporates are really keen on that direction now, and many of them are moving to a stronger measurement and part of the ROI on that. So we have to make sure that we source responsibly. The venue that we're putting forward has their own sustainability program. They're minimizing the impact on the environment. They're supporting local employment. They're supporting local businesses. And, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And everybody I speak to about that is, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't we do that? So, yeah, I think it's really important that our industry can help economies that are developing by having events in developing economies where we contribute to that economy. We contribute to employment. We contribute to the environment there. So, you know,
I feel there's a groundswell. I feel there's a movement. And I feel actually that if you've got a big corporate with a truckload of stakeholders and a heap of employees, it makes every bit of sense to be able to turn around to those stakeholders and employees and say, through this event, we are going to be doing X, Y, and Z in a sustainable resort and contributing to the community, which means that, you know, by running this event, we are contributing to the environment.
So practicing what we preach, one of my favorite examples is ourselves. Lo and behold, the following year, I became responsible for delivering our global leadership conference. It was going to be in EMEA, and we chose Marrakesh for that, and we had a lot of the US team coming over. I think 45% of the people coming over were the US and so on.
Wow.
And we wanted to push the boundaries a bit further than what we'd done in the past. And what we ended up doing very quickly is we took the whole of the global leadership team up to a Berber village in the mountains in Marrakesh. And we wanted to leave a lasting legacy from that visit.
Yeah.
So we split the whole of the global leadership team, and I'm talking some very serious, time-restrained business people that are at the top of CWT, and our board as well, by the way, got very stuck in, and our chairperson. And we split them into 3 groups, and one group went off and constructed and built solar panels to draw water out of the ground from a well that they've been paying electricity for that they couldn't afford anymore as a village. So we actually built the solar panels, we clicked it on, we got the pump working, and they were then sustainable as far as the water was concerned without bills. That was one group. The second group completely redid the kids' creche the first year or two they go to school. It was in a terrible, dilapidated state. So, you know, our top executives were there in there painting. We organized desks and everything. And when we left the creche, it was just incredible. You know, it's like, wow, you know, the kids' eyes were wide open. And then for the middle level, we rebuilt a football pitch for them. So when we left there at the end of the day, it was just an incredible experience. And I got so many amazing emails from people saying that was one of the most memorable experiences of my life.
And that makes every bit of it worthwhile, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely.
When you know you've resonated like that with you know, with the people around you, with your colleague, whether it's your colleagues or your clients, you know, that's I just think that's phenomenal. What's your crystal ball looking like for 21, 22?
I think we're going to have a very difficult first 6 months. I know there's a lot of positivity around with the vaccine news, and that's fantastic. You know, great to see that start next week. We all can't wait. Hopefully we've bottomed out. We are going to start coming out the other side, but I do think it's going to be flat for a few months now. The challenge for us as an industry to create confidence within our customers to start booking again, and hopefully all this will help to create that confidence. But I think it'll be quite a while for us before corporates start booking larger events again. Crystal ball, first 6 months are going to be very slow, continue to be slow. We'll begin to see a build. I hope in April, May, June, we start to see bookings for the second half of the year again. And hopefully by Q4, we're back to maybe 70% of where we were in 2019. But I think 2021 is going to be another tough year and difficult for the industry. You know, I'm watching very closely Australia, and Australia has been put forward as the first country to emerge from this kind of back to normal. And talking to our leader down there, Michelle, she's quite gung-ho about the RFPs and the requests that are coming in, and some of them are just like, okay, let's book it, let's not even do an RFP on this, let's get this in the books now. And that's exciting because, you know, hopefully that's a little bit of a barometer of what's to come. We'll also have going forward a continuation, I believe, of hybrid events. I think that this has shown us that hybrid can work. And we will be meeting more locally to start off with. So we'll be meeting first of all in country, then within region, then probably internationally. But certainly if we have a meeting here in the UK, we can broadcast to a much wider audience using a studio.
All right. Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I've taken up way too much of your time.
Richard, it's always a pleasure to work with you and the team at inVOYAGE. I think it's an amazing team of people. I think you do an incredible event to the events that I've been to.
Thank you so much, Ian.
Thanks, Richard. You take care.
You too. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.